Is that the thumbnail? Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts. Can you guess who I am? I'm Bob Ross. And I'm one of the most prolific painters of all time. Today we're going to go ahead and just talk about some deep thoughts, but some happy thoughts. Happy thoughts about Halloween, maybe, since 'tis the season. Maybe we'll paint a little picture here. We can paint a picture of our thoughts. We can add a happy thought here and a happy thought there, and well, we can just create a whole lot of happy thoughts until there are no more sad thoughts. No more sad thoughts of all the famine in the world and the poverty and the racism. We're going to erase racism today with some happy thoughts. No more suicidal thoughts and thoughts about taking myself out in the backyard and just blowing my brains out. No, we're going to go ahead and paint some happy thoughts. No matter how much I struggle with the existence of consciousness, and I don't feel very comfortable in my own skin. But we're going to forget about all that today, and we're going to make some really, really happy thoughts. This is the worst beard of all time, dude. I can't do it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What's up, everybody? It's Napoleon Dynamite. Welcome to another episode of Deep Thoughts. You might be wondering why I'm stuck up so much spit, and I'm talking a little funny, and half my face isn't moving. Well, it's not only the season of Halloween, but it's the season of cavities. And I had 7 of them. I just got 4 of them filled about an hour ago, so I'll be drinking my coffee through a straw. And, yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy Spooktober. It is October 20th, 2020, but this will probably go up closer to Halloween or after Halloween. Who knows? Depends when I get this stuff done. I'm a busy man. But it's good to be here today. Yes, it's good to be here. It's a beautiful October day. I love October. I really do. I can't tell if I'm still trying to play a character or am I being myself. I just don't know. When half of your face is numb, you just don't feel yourself. I'll try to limit the sip sucking and the lip smacking. But yeah, it's a beautiful October day. I love October. I love the fall. I love the transition into the fall. And we've had a pretty nice one this year. Usually is. In the Midwest, I can't speak for the rest of the country, but I like some Midwest falls, bro. I like to see the leaves change. I love looking at all the pretty leaves, the orange and the yellow, and oh man, there's something about that vibe, you know. Especially when like this October and the last several Octobers, I've noticed we really have some really nice days starting off, like some really warm, sunny days. And man, just on a nice warm sunny day, just being out, you know, taking a walk through a pile of leaves, you know, it just really sets the vibes. I really like it. It's very nice. One of my favorite seasons. It might be my favorite season, for real. I love summertime, I do. Oh man, I love summer. I love to hear the cicadas and I just love the sun and the brightness and the green grass, but I love to see it transition to, man, and and then winter kind of sucks. Actually, no, winter might be my least favorite. You know, spring, you got all the flowers. There's a beauty to it. You're coming out of that snowy haziness of just crap roads to drive on and just horrible cold weather. I really don't like it. Yeah, in certain sceneries, the snow looks nice, sure, in a field, or in a wooded area where all the, leaves are off the trees and it's just a bunch of snow and trees. Like, there's something pretty about that, but not really when you're looking out your front lawn or your front door or whatever, and it's just mushy, slushy snow and driving and all the slushiness, and it's just all mushy and becomes black and stuff from people's tires and from the dirt, and it's really not that attractive of a season. And then on top of that, you don't want to leave your house because it's so freaking cold. The only good thing about winter is, of course, Christmas. Yeah, I said it. It's really the only good thing. My mic cool? Is my mic good? Does it look good? Is the shot good? I'm really struggling about on how to post my my deep thoughts or my podcast on like Spotify, or I was even trying to submit it to one called Rockfin. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to get the RSS feed. If somebody could help me with that, please. I'd love to post my podcast somewhere else other than YouTube. You never know how long YouTube's going to be around. They're always in hot water, boy. But yeah, so I thought I would like to take this episode just to talk a little Halloween. I love Halloween, dude, and I didn't really realize how much I loved Halloween until I got older. And that could just be nostalgia, But I feel like Halloween's gotten a lot more popular in the last decade, maybe. Amongst adults, specifically. Adults love them some Halloween, boy. Everybody loves to dress up and go to a Halloween party and get totally trashed in their favorite costumes. I'll admit, there is something fun about that. There is a little something fun about dressing as Luigi and just pounding wild turkey. I was like, trying to think of an alcohol. Drinking some Jungo juice. There's something fun about that, playing a character and getting drunk and high and partying. And, which, of course, you don't have to do those things at party. But, yeah, Halloween's real cool. A real cool thing now, You see I see tons of houses decorating for it now, like they do like they do Christmas. And lots of really cool, floaties on the lawn and gravestones and skeletons and, smoke machines and, people really go all out for Halloween. It's pretty dope. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm trying to add some little decorations myself over time. I'd like to decorate for Halloween now. I really do. And so, Christmas is still up there as my favorite holiday. Christmas it's great. It's hard to beat. But Halloween's right there. It's overcome Thanksgiving for me now. Why do we have Thanksgiving? Just have like 2 Christmases. That could be Christmas number 1, and then Christmas number 2 will be December 25th. That'd be way better. Yeah, I mean, there's still, again, there's nostalgia, and meaning behind Thanksgiving, right? There's a lot of meaning, sharing food and stuff, It's all about food. But you got the fall vibe still, too, Hopefully it's not snowing by Thanksgiving, but sometimes it is. And then football. Yes, I love football on Thanksgiving, man. Really great. And so those are the things I associate with it. But Halloween it's just something about it. You got the movies, you don't have a lot of Thanksgiving movies. But movies make a big difference. Music and movies. And Christmas has the music and movies, and Halloween's definitely got the movies. I mean, Michael Myers, dude. Watch a little Friday the 13th, a little Child's Play, a little Shining, a little The Thing, dude. There's so much good stuff to watch around Halloween because, really, just it could be any horror movie. But, I don't know, man. Again, it sets the vibes. I like it. I like watching a good spooky movie. And some of the classic kid stuff, good old Halloween Town. They did make a sequel to Hocus Pocus, which Wasn't horrible. Wasn't horrible. Very unnecessary, like all sequels that come out 30 years later. But it wasn't horrible. I laughed a few times. It was cool seeing the girls get back together. Sarah Jessica Parker had a lot more lines this time because she's actually somebody now. It was okay. It was okay. I watched that. You know, you got Charlie Brown, the Halloween, the pumpkin one. What is it called? The Great Pumpkin. That's one of the best Charlie Browns. Man, I really like it, you know. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about some of my favorite Halloween memories. Dude, I don't know why I'm like putting on such a voice right now. It's kind of annoying, but seriously, this is really affecting the way that I talk. That is difficult. I'm breaking the cardinal sin of having drink after fillings, but I don't care. So, yeah, you know, I remember most of my Halloweens. Well, no, at least a little over half. I remember at least half of my Halloweens. I remember all the way back. One of the earliest Halloween memories that I have is I probably was, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old maybe. And it's in the first like Halloween costume I can personally remember being in was a Wolverine costume. Classic like X-Men animated series, you know, with the yellow and the blue shoulders. I may have worn that costume more than once, but it's just a vague memory. I barely remember actually trick-or-treating, but there is a picture hanging around somewhere, I'm sure in my mom's house, or of me wearing that costume, and I did love it. That was a sweet costume, dude. Wolverine, awesome. Can't go wrong with that. Yeah, dude, you know, I remember vaguely having like a Halloween bag that was just a bag, not a bucket, a bag, but it had like Halloween picture on it, you know, like pumpkins or spoopy house or something. Probably trick-or-treated with something like that. Now I'm trying to remember Halloween's. You know, it's a little foggy. It's a little foggy, dude. I wish I could remember like a specific moment, but I really can't. But I can remember the costumes at least. Costumes were the best part, of course. Well, besides the candy. But taking out a costume was always super fun. I remember early on, one of the next costumes I got was a pirate. Classic pirate with my brother. Would it be the first time we wore like the same or similar costumes? I do remember a pirate, and I remember I think my brother had like a styrofoam like scimitar or saber thing, like a pirate sword, and I think I used, and I don't know where it is, but I think I still have it somewhere because Amicia has played with it before. I had like a long plastic sword that looked more like a knight's sword, kind of, with a black rubber handle, and there's like a hole on the tip of it, and you can like squeeze the handle. And I don't remember ever actually using this, but I do have some kind of memory of knowing that it was supposed to squirt out like fake blood or something like that. Like you could fill it with something like that. I don't think I ever did, but I think that's what like its purpose was. I don't know. But I think that's the sword I used as a pirate. I may have used that sword on more than one occasion. I'm not sure. Because I've had that sword for a long time. It's just one of those items that's just always around, you know. I've had it since I was like 7 years old, and I still have it. I'll find it, you know, while moving. For some reason, I just bring it everywhere with me. You never know when you're going to need a fake sword, though, you know. But my daughter, though, I know she got a hold of it and I think broke the handle off of it, and I had to duct tape the handle back. I should use that this year with Bob Ross. Bob Ross don't play. Bob Ross don't play those games. Yeah. The most I remember about Halloween is just obviously walking from house to house, right? Again, vague, hazy memories, but I trick-or-treated in the same town for like the first like 6 or 7 Halloweens until I was like 10 years old. Whenever I started trick-or-treating, I don't know. I mean, I may have started at like 2 or 3 and just don't remember. So like 7 or 8 years or whatever. Was the same neighborhood, so the same houses, and so I have vague memories of it. And the anticipation is always great too, right? You wake up on Halloween morning, and you literally, it's not like Christmas morning where you're waiting the night before with the anticipation, but Halloween, you wake up in the morning and you gotta wait like all day for it, so there's lots of building that anticipation throughout the day, and then you're just waiting for it to get kind of dark out. And I remember like being in the house, like getting my costume on, and my parents would always say we have to wait till we see other trick-or-treaters before we go to know that it's begun, like the purge. And so we would I remember like going to our window to look outside to see if we could see a trick-or-treater, and as soon as bam you saw one trick-or-treater, you're like, it's on, Mom, Dad, let's go, grab your bags, let's get some candy. And yeah, man, going up and saying trick or treat, I think when you're younger, you're a little bit nervous to do that. I remember being a little nervous sometimes, and maybe let my older brother or sister, do the actual verbalizing of the trick or treat, and then I would just step up there and try to grab some candy and run away like a scared little kid. But yeah, so I remember going through my neighborhood, man, year after year. House after house. I remember one specific house one year did do it up pretty good, and actually had somebody like jump out at you, and oh man, scared the crap out of me. I don't think I wanted to go up to that house, and I think it was like the only year they did that. But yeah, man, just it was usually cold. That's when I was in Michigan. So again, those Midwest winters. It's always cold. You usually got to cover your costume up with a dumb, stupid coat, But the walk, the walk was always great, Just going from house to house, and then sometimes you'd hit a stretch of like no houses or nobody, houses that got the lights off, so they're not doing the whole Halloween trick-or-treat thing, so you just keep walking until, ooh, you see a house up there, that one looks good, hit that house. And then, of course, you always want, somebody to grab a handful, or they say you can just help yourself, right? That's the best. Those are the best ones. But the ones that are like, just take one little piece of candy. Ah, dude. I can't fart out of this side. Those are the worst people, dude. Being stingy with the candy. Now, I remember my dad, talking to me about when he trick-or-treated, they give you the big candy bars. Not this fun-sized crap, but I'm pretty sure the fun-sized crap is what I started out with. I don't remember getting full-sized candy bars. Just the little candies. I remember getting like, they're like caramels wrapped, or some kind of, really sticky, thick, caramel candies wrapped in like orange wrapping paper. Does anybody remember those? I remember I don't think I liked them. And I remember probably like months later or a year later or something like that, I remember finding some in my dresser drawer. Like I was just stashing them in there or something like that. And I'm pretty sure like they actually like legit made a mess. Like, I don't know, I have a vague memory. Like I said, I just remember those being so sticky. Like the kind of candy that just sticks to the wrapper. You're trying to peel the wrapper off and you try to eat it, but you're getting pieces of wrapper that got stuck on it. But I think I ended up liking those later on in life. I can't remember. I have to look those up. I remember getting those. I remember getting like a package of popcorn, just some good old Orville Redenbacher. Little Pop Secret. That was always lame to me. But yeah, and of course, like the best part though, is coming home with your stash, dude. Coming home with your loot, and going through it all and seeing what you got, and my parents were always like, okay, you can have like a little bit now, but then you gotta save the rest for the next few days, and so they'd put it in like a big Ziploc bag, so you didn't eat it all. I remember getting lots of Tootsie Rolls. Tootsie Rolls were very big. You like getting the thick Tootsie Rolls, the ones that aren't actually rolls, but they're like bricks. Those were dope. Those are good. Today it's like lots of Milky Way and Snickers. I don't remember getting tons of those, just the little bite-sized ones. Almond Joys, one of my personal favorites. I love me some Almond Joys, man. I love getting those. But yeah, those are the, again, they're vague memories, but enough to create a sense of nostalgia, for sure, a family thing, that you get together and do with your siblings and your parents, and, it's just fun, dude. It's just fun, some other costumes I remember, one of my favorites I got, probably around 8 or 9, was a ninja, just a plain ninja, and my brother had one as well. And I may have used that sword for that costume as well. But I do remember being a ninja. And you can't go wrong with a good old ninja. Super awesome. I also forgot to mention, I'm drinking some Nicaraguan coffee. I said Nicaraguan, you racist. Yeah, it's from Target. It's like Target's brand. The brand changed their name from Archer Hills, or Archer Farms. That's like the Target brand stuff, you got like Walmart's Great Value or whatever, or Sam's Value, and then Target's had Archer Farms, but now they changed it to Good and Gather. Good and Gather. This is Good and Gather coffee. Stupid name, but it's an organic Nicaraguan coffee. I said Nicaraguan, okay? It's very good. It's very good. I gotta remember to split this audio up. Last time I had, man, I tell you what, dude, iMovie's weird sometimes. Like it just changes. I don't know if that's with updates, but last time I tried to edit the last Deep Thoughts episode in iMovie, and it said that 58 minutes long, 58 minutes of audio was too long to edit, to put in there. 58 minutes of video was fine, but I couldn't attach the audio to it because it said it was too long. It's never told me that ever before. And I've definitely uploaded longer audios to iMovie, so I had to do it in Filmora, and Filmora, if I want to upload it in 1080p 60 frames, you need like 50 gigabytes of free space on your phone, so then that's why I ended up uploading it in 720 30 frames, but I would like to upload it in 1080p through iMovie, so what I'm going to try to do is stop this 30 minutes through, and hopefully 30 minutes is fine, and then I could split up the audio, 2 separate files or whatever. Oh, that's interesting stuff. But yeah, just stop smacking my lips. It's very annoying. The ninja costume was one of my favorites. Dude. I've had so many good ones, dude. Okay, here's a good Halloween memory. The weirdest costume I ever got, and I don't know what attracted me to it, but it was a cyborg cowboy. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that since. And there's a lot of weird costumes out there these days. And you could be everything. You could be a burrito. You could be Sonic the Hedgehog. You can be a hippie. And you could be Bob Ross. But I was a cyborg cowboy because it was a cowboy outfit and, cowboy hat, but then it was a mask that was a half, like, robot face thing. Pretty sweet. I wish I could find some pictures of that. And, but just a weird decision by me. And, I remember going to my first Halloween party at a friend's house with that costume. I was probably, 7 or 8 or 9, whatever, somewhere in there. And I went with one of my other friends, and I can't remember what he was. But I remember they made like a little haunted house of the garage. And, but the thing that occupied me and my friend the most, and I should have, knowing who I am today, it's like obvious what I ended up doing. We ended up eating food the whole time. There was like tons of snacks and food. I remember there was like little hot dogs with like ketchup on it or something like that. Making bloody fingers or whatever. And I remember just like chilling in my cyborg costume, my cyborg cowboy costume, sitting in a chair next to my friend, just like just stuffing our faces with snacks while we watched all the festivities going on. It's like that's exactly what I do now at a party. I just sit back and eat food and watch people. Fun memory. That friend, I remember we always talked about, well, not always, but there had been talks. There had been talks of actually trick-or-treating together, because we literally lived across the street from each other, but we never went trick-or-treating together. I think it was something my family, I don't know. They don't like to do things with other people on holidays. I don't know, something weird. But finally I got to... we might have trick-or-treated with him twice. Now I'm getting vague memories that he was Frankenstein the year I was a cyborg cowboy or something like that. And I have a vague memory of trick-or-treating with him then. And maybe his dad had a Michael Myers mask? Vague memories, dude. It feels like a dream. But I remember that we specifically one year, one of the last years I lived in Michigan, we coordinated our costumes and sprung for the big bucks. It was very hard to convince my parents, but we went to I don't know where we got our costumes before, but at the time, the place to go to was Halloween USA. It was this gigantic Halloween store. Now it's dominated by Spirit. But it was very Spirit-esque. I should look up and see if there's any more Halloween USAs. But my friend said he got a Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat costume there, and I was like, oh, dude, I gotta be Scorpion. And so I convinced my mom to go there, and we found a Scorpion costume, dude. And it was so sweet, dude. We went as Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and I just remember that was so awesome. And it worked out because he liked Sub-Zero and I like Scorpion. So it was very cool. Very cool. One of my favorite Halloween memories. And I think the Scorpion costume, that might be my favorite. But, you see, I did not let age stop me from trick-or-treating. Oh, no. I went all the way until like 17. Okay? I'm one of those people. I'm autistic. All right? And let's try to remember some other ones. We moved to Illinois. And gosh, I don't remember trick-or-treating that first year we were in Illinois because, well, no. Halloween would have been right before we moved to Illinois because we moved to Illinois in November of 2003. So maybe that Scorpion costume was done in 2003 as the last Halloween there because it was definitely one of the last Halloweens in Michigan. And that might have been the one. But then the next year, I don't remember trick-or-treating because then we lived in this like house out surrounded by fields, and so there was no trick-or-treating there. Man, did we just skip over that Halloween? Maybe my parents just bought us bags of candy. Did I dress up even? Yeah, dude, I don't remember. I don't remember that Halloween. The Halloween that never was in 2004. I have to ask my parents if they remember what we did. Because we definitely did not live around houses that year. But then the next year, when I was 12, in 2005, is a Halloween that will live in infamy for me. So on Halloween day at school, I'm going to go ahead and split this audio. So, Halloween at school in 7th grade, they brought bounce houses and put them in the gymnasium. And so for like PE or whatever, we just bounced around in bounce houses. It was fairly early on in the day too. And so I had a couple friends that were pretty big in the wrestling. Had already fallen out of wrestling. I had like a 1 or 2 year stint being, liking wrestling back in like 02, 03. But after that, I stopped watching it. I didn't know other people still continued watching it after I stopped watching. That's how my brain works. When I stopped skateboarding, I was like, oh, everybody stopped skateboarding, right? And I remember letting them do some wrestling moves on me. These two friends, they weren't really my friends, but they just wanted to beat me up, I think. And so, I just wanted to be cool and a yes man. So I let them do wrestling moves on me in the bounce house. And these guys literally had me up where one friend had my head on his shoulder and the other friend had my legs on his shoulder, and they slammed me down. And I don't know how it happened exactly, but I didn't really remember hearing a pop, but just an instant ringing in the ears, numbness feeling in my wrist, and just this weird feeling. And I looked at my wrist, dude, and it was like a U shape. It was like dipped down, like that kind of. And I remember holding it and looking at my friend. I was like, and he's just like trying to get the teacher. And I was like looking at the teacher, like, dude, a moment that's very clear in my head, very clear. But I just remember like the overall like numbness in my whole body and the ringing in my ears. I'll never forget. And I think my two friends were a little kind of freaking out a little bit, friends. But one of them, the teacher was like, okay, everybody go. Everybody needs to go. I need to take him to the nurse. And we had just learned in like science class, I think, like a day or two before, about being in shock. And so one of the kids who broke my wrist looks at me and throws that out there, dude. He's like, are you in shock? And I go, I'll never forget that, dude. And so, we went to the nurses, and I remember I kept falling asleep, passing out, basically. They put ice on it, and I just remember just feeling, like, sick and sleepy. The brain does amazing stuff when you're in severe pain to try to knock you out with, I think that's your opioid receptors, And I remember the teacher kept telling me to not fall asleep, but I was like, oh, I gotta fall asleep, I'm so tired. I was just waiting for my mom to come pick me up, and I remember her taking me to the hospital, and I was kind of falling asleep in the car, and then we got to the hospital, and I had to throw up because I felt so sick and nauseous, so they held a tray under my mouth, and I just, like, threw up into it. And on Halloween, dude, I went to surgery for my wrist and got high for the first time in my life. Whatever they gave me, I don't know, Diallude or morphine, whatever. Some concoction like that, hydromorphone. They're like, okay, we can either numb it and keep you awake, or we can try to knock you out. And I was like, knock me out. 12-year-old Adam was like, knock me out. I was like, I do not want to see you guys popping my wrist back into place, dude. Which now I'd be curious to see how that would work. How the heck did they fix that, dude? Medical stuff is amazing. I was thinking about that, even getting, these cavities filled. I was like, it kind of sucks. But it's good. It's good that I can get it done, right? We have all these tools and technology, to do it, and something that people didn't have once upon a time. But they also didn't have sugar and everything to give themselves cavities. So I don't know. One problem just leads to a solution that it's just an ongoing circle. An ongoing circle. I don't know what I'm talking about. When they gave me the numbing stuff, dude, I felt like I was almost getting high. I felt like I was getting stupid. I was like, I don't like this. It was not a fun experience. It was not a fun experience getting these cavities filled today. I'll tell you what. I got to treat my teeth better. But it had been like 10 plus years since I've been to the dentist, so that's why I had 7 cavities. They got 4 of them done out of the 7. I don't know. I probably already said this. I'm telling you, dude, that medicine, that numbing stuff messed me up. But so they knocked me out, dude, and I remember tripping, bro. I remember just seeing tons of colors in front of me, and I started having visions of my wrist with no arm attached to it, really, but just my wrist. And I remember seeing it go like really fast with tons of colors all around. because it's like I was so aware of what they were doing, even though they knocked me out. And I did come to a couple of times and kind of like looked over, seen the doctor, and then I was back out. And then looked over and seen the doctor, and I was back out. And then it was over, dude. I woke up, and I remember telling my mom that she is so awesome. I bet she could tell this story too, because she thought it was the funniest thing. I was like, Mom, you're so awesome. And they were just laughing at me. Yeah, I felt high. That was my first high experience, man. And so I got a cast on Halloween night, and I remember this. They wanted to give me time before I left, and it was like 5:00, and it was a race against against time, because I was like, I still want to trick or treat tonight. I had a Grim Reaper costume prepared with a scythe, black hood. Did I have a skeleton mask with it? I might have. And they were like, okay, we're going to try to get you out as soon as possible so you can go trick or treat. Like, that was like a serious thing. I was taking it serious. Everybody was taking it serious, And I remember leaving the hospital finally, and we were going home. And I also remember this. I'll have to fact check this, but I think the Burger King chicken fries had just came out. And we stopped by Burger King, and I got some chicken fries, dude. And, they were amazing. They were so good. I ate like half of them on the way home, and got in my costume, had my cast, and my arm was up on the splint. And I think, did I get to choose the color? I might have. I'm pretty sure I got to choose blue. And it was a full, like half arm cast like this, and it made my arm sit like this. And, dude, I went and trick-or-treated with my arm in a sling. And my mom made sure to tell everybody that I just broke my wrist, and I swear it was just to get extra candy. And I remember going home, eating candy, and watching the Ravens play the Steelers. I remember that. It was like a Monday night. It might have been a Sunday night. I'm pretty sure a Monday night. Yeah, I went to school. Yeah, it was a Monday night. And I remember I actually had 2 friends come over and trick-or-treat at our house, and they didn't know it was my house. And these 2 girls, and they came in for a little bit, and we talked, and I told them about my wrist and crap, and I was just sitting there eating the rest of my chicken fries and candy, and that was it, dude. That was like one of the best Halloweens ever. And I started playing RuneScape too. I remember that with one hand. That's probably the one of the best Halloween memories ever. Yeah, dude. Anyways, I remember the next year I was a knight for the first time. Also cool, awesome, because I was getting into the fantasy stuff. And I was 13, so at this point, getting a little big. The next year, I moved to California, and instead of trick-or-treating, because this is an awesome rule, and every school should follow this. So Halloween was like on a Monday, I think, probably, or something. And school said we were going to have the next day off on Tuesday. And it was like, sweet. So you could party hard, eat all the candy you wanted. Because, I think they didn't want a bunch of kids coming in hungover on candy or something. Oh, my tooth is hurting. Everything's starting to hurt and feel stiff. Oh, man, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So I remember on Halloween night, I think I wore the same Grim Reaper costume that I wore a couple of years ago when I broke my wrist. And we went out to a Halloween carnival thing that was going on. And it was super fun, me and a couple friends. And then we went back to one of the friends' house and we played Halo all night and ate candy. It was super cool. And then the next year, when I'm 15, I moved to Missouri and I meet my future wife. And hold on a second. No, not yet. That's a year later. That's 2009. 2008, when I was 15, we moved to Missouri. That was the first year that I just hung back and handed out candy. And that was a fun experience, too, honestly. I got a pretty scary mask, which I still have. Just his face, I don't know. It's like missing an eye. He's got blood coming down his face. Like, I thought about wearing it for this, but I got the Bob Ross going. It's also a mask that has scared the dickens out of my daughter. Scared the dickens out of her. So I can't bring it out unless I'm threatening her to be good. I threaten her with that mask. And I remember we all stayed home. We watched like Halloween H2O or something. and ate candy and handed out candy to some trick-or-treaters, and I'd always come up with wearing the mask, and it would always scare the little kids at first, and then I'd be like laugh and say happy Halloween, and then they were usually cool. But I remember scaring a few kids with that mask. So that was a chill Halloween. I just moved there, didn't know anybody, so. But then the next year I was with my future wife, and and we hung out on Halloween Day. This Halloween, I got a Michael Myers mask, which I still have, from Rob Zombie's Halloween. Because after his movie came out, that was like the mask to have. Like, they kind of like, for a little while, you couldn't even find just a plain white Michael Myers mask. It was always the Rob Zombie version with all the cuts and the scars and stuff. And had fake hair on it too, and the hair is like totally falling out. Like, that mask is totally balding. But I still have it. And so that was going to be my mask, and I was going to hand out candy again. So I think I kind of had retired from trick-or-treating after 13. But I get back into it. But anyways, I hang out with my girlfriend that day, and we get promiscuous. And my mom's not going to like the story, but my mom walked in on me and my girlfriend right after we got done doing the business, and we were getting dressed, and I got in trouble. And wasn't allowed to see her anymore, but I still did, because you can't stop love. You can't stop young love. Young, hot, passionate love. But I knew I was in big trouble. I seceded. I was like, okay, I know this looks bad. I will do whatever you want. I'm sorry. But I want to enjoy my Halloween still. And so that year I ended up actually, wearing that Michael Myers mask, and I ended up coming out, like jumping out and scaring people, which was really fun. That was really fun. I decided to do that for that Halloween. I have to do that again someday. That was fun, dude. I would just hide on the side of my house, and I would just like slowly like creep out, and everybody would be like, ah! It was fun. Getting caught, doing the dirty wasn't fun, but, And then the next year, age like 17 then, right, 2010, I went trick-or-treating with my girlfriend, my future wife. And I had bought a new costume, and this might be the best costume. Because I got so many compliments and just so many people like looking at me like, whoa, walking by everybody. And so we trick-or-treated together, and this costume was just a hooded figure, like a Grim Reaper robe, but then the face was completely black, but I had like these glasses on underneath it that glowed red, and then they would stop glowing, and they'd just be pitch black, and then they'd glow red again. It's super sweet, like just walking everywhere, like everybody would just like stare at me like, whoa, that's cool. That's probably the best costume I ever had. I think that's number one. That's a fan favorite. And then, I remember, obviously, those memories are a little more clear in my head, being older. It was still fun, though. We'd trick-or-treat, and people would be like, you guys seem a little bit big to be trick-or-treating, and we're just like, no, we're not. Give us the candy. And then there was no rules by my parents. They didn't take it and put it in a Ziploc bag. I could literally eat as much as I want until I got sick. I remember going to, we walked a long time that night, too. And we walked pretty far to my future wife's grandma's house. And that was fun. That was a fun memory. We got some candy over there. And, and also we went to by her friend's house, too, I remember. Oh, no, that was the year after. We trick-or-treated at 18 also. So the year after, I remember, my dad was living in an apartment, and I think people were trick-or-treating in the apartment, which is super lame. And I think I went with, like, the old Grim Reaper costume again. Like, I replayed that one a few times from when I broke my wrist. And we went out. We went to her friend's house, and she wasn't there. She was with her boyfriend. But we got to, trick-or-treat, see her parents, see her friends' parents, and that was nice. And then we walked even farther to her friends where she was at her boyfriend's, and we went there. And again, football was on. It must have been a Monday night also. Maybe it was a Sunday night. I don't know. Football and Halloween's almost, connected as much as Thanksgiving to me now. I remember I have some football memories on Halloween. And we talked with them a little bit, and that was fun. And, as you get older, that's kind of became the fun thing to see friends and, yeah, man, see friends. I don't know. And then after that, it was pretty much over. And then we started going to Halloween parties. One Halloween when I was like 20, I dressed up as Mordecai from the regular show, if anybody knows that show. He's a big blue bird. And we went to a drag show. So we had to be like 21, I'm pretty sure. Maybe you didn't have to be 21 to get in. I can't remember. We went to I think it was the second drag show we went to. And we sat up front row, and I got all the attention all night long. Everybody would just get up there, like, the next, drag queen or whatever would get up there and just, like, instantly, like, look at me like, what the F is going on here? Are you a bird? And I was just like, and I didn't talk at all, and they would just bring me up, and everybody would laugh at me and clap and then sit back down. Then the next drag queen would bring me up, and I got all the attention that night. I finally took my mask off at the end of the night and took pictures with them. So that was a fun Halloween memory too, still doing, like I said, then you get into the fun adult stuff of Halloween, going to drag shows or going to parties, and we started doing stuff like that. After that though, I don't know, I can't remember too many other Halloweens, except for just like in like kind of recent years, 24, 25, definitely went to just some Halloween parties. Was Luigi, like 2 years in a row. That's fun too. Like I said, going to Halloween parties is fun. Might hit one up this year, who knows? I'm gonna have to do something about this beard though. That beard is awful. I might just have to like draw on the beard or something. Because that beard, you can't even see my mouth or anything. It's a terrible beard. But now, of course, since I turned 25, I remember taking my daughter, she was like a month old, and I took her over to my dad's house, and we ate pizza, and my daughter just slept the whole time. We put her in like a little Halloween shirt. So, now having a kid, of course, I get to live through her. I still get to dress up, and I can go trick-or-treating again, but with her. The year after that, when she was 1... let me try to think here. Let's see. Yeah, 3 was last year, and 2. So when she was 1, she was walking, and I think she was a deer, cute little deer. Yeah, and we didn't want to take her out into the cold, so we actually took her to the mall to trick or treat around the stores, and not as fun of an experience, but it was still okay. It was still okay for her, first trick-or-treating, it was all right. And then the year after, we actually took her outside trick-or-treating, and she was the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. And that was very fun. I can't remember maybe I wore my Michael Myers mask, but I think she was too scared of it, so I couldn't even really wear it. And that was fun, we went to a couple friends' house and trick-or-treated, and like I said, it's very fun to go with my child now. And then last year, she was a green fairy, and that was really fun. We hit this really popular street up here that was just, man, they get so many trick-or-treaters, and that's always fun when you got tons of other trick-or-treaters all around you, and you're just passing them by and looking at all the cool costumes, and she made a killing last year. She did really good. And that was, I feel like, her first real good experience. Because before that, she was, when she was 2, she was too scared to walk up to the houses and say trick or treat. But last year, she actually did it. She walked up and said trick or treat. And this year, I have a feeling she's going to be even more brave. She's going to be Minnie Mouse. I'm going to be Bob Ross. And we're going to go kill it. We're going to go crush. We're going to get tons of candy, dude. I can't wait. Ah, yes. Halloween. Some people find it, not everybody likes Halloween. Some people find it a little dark, a little bit, ugh. They don't know how they feel about it, but I don't know. However you interpret it, you can interpret it as something evil or whatever, or it could be a real fun family thing to do. And that's how I look at it. It's a fun family holiday to celebrate. I like to decorate for it. I like to do all the things, that you do around Christmas time, watch the movies, and when the day comes, man, you're just waiting to go trick-or-treat and score some candy. And come back home and watch Halloween and watch Michael Myers kill some people. It's great. It's really great. I'm looking forward to it this year. And this weekend we'll pick up some pumpkins, do some jack-o'-lanterns. That's always fun. I've been doing that the last few years as well. I've made some okay ones. That's fun. We go to the pumpkin patch, and that's always a fun memory too. It's tradition now. It's the first time I've ever been to pumpkin patch. It was taking Amicia, when she was, 1 year old. We've been taking her ever since. And, yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm excited for the season. And I hope everybody else is having a good Halloween season, a good October, a good fall. And I hope everyone is doing real well. I think we can go ahead and end this episode of Deep Thoughts, don't you think? We've had a lot of fun here. We've recounted a lot of fun memories of our Halloween past, and why we love it so much. Remember to keep smiling and stay happy and spread all the happy thoughts. Because it's important in a day and age where lots of people want to hurt themselves and are very depressed. And, yeah. This has been another episode of Deep Thoughts. Remember to think freely. Think often, everyone. I love you. I really do. I really do. I can feel a little bit of the other half of my face now. Good night, everybody. Happy Halloween.